Welcome, friends. Welcome to day 3 of the AWS AI Practitioner series. If you haven't yet watched our first two videos on AI, I highly recommend that checking those first. They will give you the foundation you need to get the most from today's session. So, in this series, our focus is on building a deep understanding of the concepts behind the AWS Certified AI Practitioner exam. Rather than simply presenting question and answers, we emphasize the why and the how, ensuring you gain lasting knowledge that you can apply confidently in real world scenarios as well as in the exam itself. Of course, we will still include exam style questions and answers, but always in the context of the concepts you have learned, ensuring you are confident both in the test and in applying AI on AWS practice. So today we are going to explore some of the most important topics for your exam and your practical AWS AI skills. Those are Amazon Bedrock Guardrails, Amazon Bedrock Agents, and the Bedrock Cost Savings Plans, and the tour of our key AI services on AWS. Obviously, we'll give you the real time or the real life questions and answers also, which can come in your exam. So, the concepts which we are going to tell, so these are not just your exam checkboxes, they are powerful tools which we will use to design secure, efficient, and innovative AI solutions in the real world. So let's dive in and connect the dots between these concepts and services and how they work together to deliver value. So Amazon Bedrock Guardrails. So in case you forget what is Amazon or AWS Bedrock, so Bedrock, if you remember that it's a fully managed Amazon Web Services platform that lets us build and run generative AI applications without having to set up or manage the underlying AI models or infrastructure. Now, what is guardrail? So, or what is Amazon Bedrock? They have implemented this guardrail. So in AWS, when we want to work with Bedrock guardrails, so this is mainly where we want to configure safety and compliance controls that sit between the users and foundation models. So this is the capability by which we can control the interactions, that how users and your foundation models can exchange the information. We can do the content filtering, that suppose we do not want some uh, specific harmful content or toxic content, any political content to show in the prompts. This is the thing that guardrail we can use. This PII protection, this is you will see in the real world every time those suppose SSN number or any NI number. These are all PII data. So we need to detect and remove those PII data, personally identifiable information. So Bedrock, in the actual exam you might get questions that this is the problem that client has reported, so how will you prevent that? So the AWS Bedrock guardrail will be the answer for those kind of questions. So this can handle privacy, enhance the privacy, hallucinations. So hallucinations is will come later, but this is the of means what is the actual fact that is coming. Hallucination is the model that it is sometime hallucinate that to a different fact. So from the prompt it can happen. So but this guardrail can reduce the hallucinations also, that improve the factual grounding of model responses. And if you want that different guardrail can be applied on different use cases, that also from Bedrock guardrail we can configure. So, and we'll show you that how to actually implement. But for the purpose of this exam, AWS AI Practitioner, you do not need to know the implementation of it. But we have given you a code snippet how to actual implementation of Bedrock. So here you can see. So we are showing a Boto 3 client. So Boto 3 is an SDK. So it's we are using here Python code, but here what we are trying to do, we are trying to filter that if it's a sexual content or violence content, that should not come. So this is a safety content guardrail we are writing. So but to implement it in a how to implement it, that is not part of your exam. You just need to know for this exam that with guardrail we can do this kind of things, removing PII, filtering, and all this part. But just to give you more background, that for Bedrock agent runtime, that is only for guardrails if you want to apply. And there is another thing, Bedrock runtime, where you can do both model and guardrail together. And example use cases of guardrail in education: it can prevent the inappropriate content on any tutoring apps. Healthcare, it can mask patient identifiers in generated summaries. Finance, it can block investment advice to comply with regulations. These are just examples. There can be millions of possible use cases for a Bedrock guardrails. Hope you understand what is guardrail now. Now, this is a very important concept, this Bedrock agents. So you are now hearing a lot of terms on agentic AI and all those things. So now let's understand that how Amazon has implemented. So Amazon Bedrock Agents is our AI platform powered assistant that just don't just answer questions, they take action also. Here, the key capabilities you can see: multi-step task execution. So what they will do, they can run complex workflows end to end, like provisioning infrastructure or deploying applications. They can do agent can do task coordination also. They make sure that each steps runs in right order, passing data smoothly between steps. Predefined action group. Suppose here you can give them a set of approved actions via API schemas. So they only do what you will allow. With Bedrock agent, we can do system and service integrations also. They can, suppose you want to connect to a Oracle database or a DB2 database, we can connect to an API or any enterprise level tools. So to exchange data or trigger actions, those we can do from Bedrock agent. RAG, the retrieval augmented generation, we can suppose you are working for a bank and you want to pull data from your company's database. So with RAG, we can pull relevant information with the connecting knowledge base you have in your organization. So this Bedrock agent is a very important concept. And example use cases: so suppose for manufacturing, we can monitor IoT sensors data, we can detect anomalies, uh, pull maintenance log, etc. In healthcare, we can retrieve patient information, generate discharge instruction, etc. In travel and hospitality sector, we can search flight, books, hotels, create itineraries, etc. So think of Bedrock agent as AI that doesn't just think, it acts safely and in sequence to get the real work done. So that is the Bedrock agent. Now, this is a concept you will get at least one or two questions also in the exam, that what are the cost saving plan. This is not only to Bedrock, it is applicable to AWS platform itself. And so what we are trying to do here, we are trying to give you a buffet versus meal plan analogy. I will explain you. Suppose this Bedrock option on demand, that how many things you are going to use. So on demand means actually you will pay as much as you eat. So if you are hungry, you will order more, you will just walk in, you will order more. So in reality, if you have unpredictable workloads, you don't know that you will be 100,000, you will get 100,000 users or 1 million users. So that is unpredictable workload. In that kind of scenario, if you need to provision, you should go for on-demand kind of provisioning in Bedrock. So you will give the price based on your request. And if you go for batch, you don't need that specific or unpredictable workload, but you need a bulk kind of jobs. You need a job for it will go to 3 million customers, but you do not need right now. You can wait that it can work for 2 hours, it can work for 2 days also. So it is, if you just think like it's a happy hour specials. So you pre-order in bulk at off-peak times. Obviously, it will be cheaper. It's 50% cheaper than any other provisioning techniques. Another technique is Bedrock. We have this provision throughput. That is, you have reserved your capacity for next 3 years. Suppose here all you can eat kind of pass, all you can eat pass, you have a reserved table and meals. So obviously, if you know a steady growth or steady predictable usage, you should go for provision throughput. Obviously, it's not cheaper, but cheaper than on demand. There is this already I explained in the second day of the videos, whatever we uploaded, that temperature top P, top K. So these are chef style kind of thing. It can work for uh, any workload. It can work. It's kind of chef style that you want spicy, you want more creative kind of thing. If you remember what is top K and top P, it's kind of probability kind of thing. So and temperature is more creative you have. So if you think like that in a buffet, that you have a chef style kind of thing, you want spicy, mild, experimental kind of thing, then you should go for this kind of provisioning. Here there is no effect on pricing and it can handle any workload. Model size, it's kind of small plate versus feast. So smaller dish obviously will cost less. If you have if you are ordering for a big dish, I will say that where you have 16 or 18 items, obviously it will cost more. So whenever you have a smaller model or you need a small model, so obviously you will go for a small size model. So obviously smaller model will cost you less. Another kind of provisioning option is you have tokens. Tokens is, if you remember that each word that you are giving, that is token in your prompt. So that is the, if you think like a buffet, that bites of food, charge for every bite in and out. So in the prompt engineering, it is the every word that you are writing as input and every word that is coming as output, all are tokens. So it can work for all workloads. That is the main cost driver. And tokens is the main cost driver for Bedrock. So in any exam questions, if you get a question that how we will reduce the cost, just think that token might be your best answer. Now, this is the other AWS AI services that we have, and these all are very important. You might get 3 to 4 questions in the exam. So first is Poly, Amazon Poly. So that is text to speech. If you give, imagine you are building an application for visually impaired. You type good morning, the weather is sunny, and Poly will read it out in the natural human voice. So it's a turning text into a speech. Now a very important AI service, that is Amazon Recognition. Yeah, don't, C is not the mistake. It's K, AWS write it like this, recognition with K. So it's a mainly, you need to remember that image and video analysis. In any of the question, if you see that where it's asking for image and video analysis, think recognition is the best AI services that AWS have. So suppose you are uploading a photo to a social media app, recognition can instantly tell you this image has 2 people, or it has a dog, or it has a beach scene, and even detects faces or read text in the picture. So recognition is specifically built for that. Another is Amazon Transcribe. You join Teams call, everywhere you see, if you make that transcribe on, you will see that your speech is getting converted into text. It can also for audio or video content. Suppose you are having a podcast episode in audio form. Transcribe can listen to it and produce a written transcript which you can post on your blog. Right? Translate, you already familiar with the language translation. So you write an email in English, but client speaks Spanish. So translate can convert it. Personalize, this is also a very important service. personalize is actually a recommendation. Suppose uh, you have seen Netflix, right? You ever noticed that it shows because you watch something, it is recommending you for few more movies or series. So personalize in the back end. Netflix is the biggest customer of AWS. AWS personalize is actually lets you build the same kind of personalized recommendation engine for your own application or website. So it's a real-time machine learning powered engine which recommends you something or recommends to the users. This is another is Messi. This you might read it in where you are giving other AWS things, not specifically to AI, but Messi is the common thing which comes in the exam. That is why we put it here. Messi is for mainly for data security purposes. Suppose you store thousands of documents in Amazon S3. Messi can scan them, find the sensitive data like credit card numbers or personal IDs, and flags them for protection. So it is a service where the main word is protect the sensitive data. So whenever you see this kind of thing in your question or in real life, think Messi is the best service that Amazon has. The last three, which we have highlighted here, comprehend medical, health lake, and transcribe medical, these all three services are used in the medical field. So suppose comprehend medical, this is extracting the medical information from text. Health lake, it stores and analyzes the health data. Transcribe medical, converts medical speech to text. There can be few questions in the actual exam where it will ask to select two or three options which will give a specific service. Suppose uh, it can ask you like a question like this. Suppose in Netflix you are seeing a movie in English, but you want sub uh, your subtitle will come in Spanish. Then what you will choose? Obviously, you will choose from voice to text. That means which service? Voice to text. That is transcribe. Now, if you want that is they mentioned it's in they need it in Spanish. So what can it do? Translate is a service which can translate the thing. Right? This kind of questions can come in the exam. Now let's jump into the questions, which is the most interesting part of this video. We'll see. So first question is, a company wants to upload customer service email messages to Amazon S3 to develop a business analysis application. The messages sometimes contain sensitive data. The company wants to receive an alert every time sensitive information is found. What which solution fully automates the sensitive information detection process with the least development effort? So whenever we read this question, before this coming to this question, I told you if you have this sensitive information thing, which is the service we are going to use, that is Messi. So first we should search that is there any option of this question that is going to Messi. Yeah, we have one option that is Messi, but let's read other thing. Here they are talking about SageMaker endpoint. We'll go cover that in other videos. SageMaker endpoint cannot be the solution. Regex, it will be very difficult to identify. We should go for a inbuilt service where AWS already have this feature. Customer, that is, you will ask customers to avoid sharing. So that is not an option. So correct answer should be option A. Question 2, a company wants to use language models to create an application for inference on edge devices. The inference must have the lowest latency possible. Which solution will meet these requirements? Okay, we didn't go through this SLM, but LLMs we discussed what is a large language model. Obviously, where we need to cater large organization or means very a big kind of data set. LLM is the base service or the base model. But the thing is here, question is clearly saying that lowest latency possible, and they are telling inference on edge devices. Here, the if it is working for a specific application, they are saying it's a create an application. It's not talking about a big data set or multiple organization or any specific big organization. So there we do not need LLM. We can work for with small language model, which is called SLM, and they mention lowest latency. So it cannot be a asynchronous kind of communication. They need a real-time communication. So the option, we should have SLM, we should have on edge devices rather than asynchronous communication on edge devices. So real-time thing. So answer should be option A. Question 3, a software company builds tools for customers. The company wants to use AI to increase software development productivity. Which solution will meet these requirements? Use a binary classification model to generate code reviews. B, install code recommendation software in the company's developer tools. C, install a code forecasting tool to predict potential code issues. D, use a natural language processing tool to generate code. Here, they are saying to use AI to software development, increase the software development productivity. Forecasting, binary classification, NLP, these cannot increase the productivity of a developer. Developer developer productivity can be increased if you have a code recommendation tool. So option B, install code recommendation software in the company's developer tools, might increase the developer's productivity. So option B should be the answer. Question 4, a company wants to identify harmful language in the comments section of social media post by using an ML model. The company will not use label data to train the model. Which strategy should the company use to identify harmful language? A, Amazon recognition moderation. B, Amazon comprehend toxicity detection. C, Amazon SageMaker built-in algorithms to train the model. D, Amazon Poly to monitor comments. So just try to see harmful content. They mention harmful content on social media posts. By reading this, our first means intuition might go for Amazon recognition moderation, because recognition, I told that it can remove harmful content from video or images. But they mentioned that company will not use label data to train the model, and they are kind of recommending the thing. So here harmful, specifically to identify harmful language, comprehend toxicity detection is a specific feature that AWS has, which is built for removing the harmful content. Rather than in recognition, we need to tell, or we need to guide recognition to identify the content. So in your exam, always try to find out that whenever you have multiple option, think for that which is the out of the box option that already product is offering. Do not, where you have, always have the cost saving and the less development effort is needed. So that is why B should be the answer rather than recognition, because comprehend toxicity detection is an inbuilt feature in AWS by which we can find out that what is the harmful content or language has been used. So B should be the answer. Question number 5. A company is using an Amazon Bedrock based model to summarize documents for an internal use case. The company trained a custom model to improve the summarization quality. Which action must the company take to use the custom model through Amazon Bedrock? A, purchase provision throughput for the custom model. B, deploy the custom model in an Amazon SageMaker endpoint for real-time inference. C, registered the model with Amazon SageMaker model registry. D, grant access for the custom model in Amazon Bedrock. So this question, you need to memorize one thing. Whenever in Amazon Bedrock you want to build a custom model, it's always recommended to go a provision throughput kind of thing, a provision throughput, because it will give you the reserved kind of capacity. So in future, if the model goes, means it, you will build a very large model also, there is a less chance that it will break or there will be some shutdown period. So just try to remember, if you want to build a custom model for provisioning perspective, it's always recommended to go for purchase provision throughput. Okay, so this is a kind of a best practices on Amazon Bedrock for custom model. Last question for this video. A medical company deployed a disease detection model on Amazon Bedrock. To comply with privacy policies, the company wants to prevent the model from including personal patient information in its responses. The company also wants to receive notification when privacy violation occurs. Okay, so there are two parts. Here, company wants to prevent the model from including personal patient information. That is one. And they want to receive the notification also. Okay. So which solution meets these requirements? Use Amazon Messi to scan the model's output for sensitive data and set up alerts for potential violations. Configure AWS CloudTrail to monitor the model's responses and create alerts for any detected personal information. CloudTrail is for the APIs, so it cannot be the answer. It's a distractor. Use guardrails for Amazon Bedrock to filter content and set up Amazon CloudWatch alarm for notification of policy violations. So, like I told in the beginning, that Amazon Guardrail is kind of the service by which we can prevent the model from personal patient information, this kind of thing in healthcare also. So guardrail should be the answer for which can do that, but they want another thing that also wants to receive notification for policy violation error occur. So CloudWatch alarm can be the best fit here, which can send the notification. What is the last option? Implement SageMaker model monitor. It's to, we'll go to the SageMaker in details in another video. But model monitor is it's for bias detection and drift, all those things. So it's not for preventing the model for PII data like this personal patient information or sending the alert. So C should be the best fit for this question. Okay. So thank you. So we'll see you in next video.